Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed at 1,000 subscribers. I'll be posting a special video. Nora yanks the garment bag and strides for the door. I clamp the hanger with both hands and plant my feet. Her belly presses hard and she grits her teeth. The zipper strains like a warning I cannot ignore. I'm Ava, 29 and marrying tomorrow. Nora's breath hits my cheek as she pulls again. Let go, she mutters, eyes flat and steady. What are you willing to lose today? Her boyfriend lifts his phone and starts recording. I pull the bag toward my chest and angle away. Turn that off, I say, keeping my voice even. He smiles and the red dot keeps blinking. Give me the dress and I keep quiet. Nora leans closer and lowers her voice. You say no and I end your wedding. She waits, daring me to test her. My phone buzzes twice, Daniel's name flashes and fades. Nora's thumb dances across her screen without blinking. She tilts it so I catch my contact photo. What do you think he'll believe first? I drag the bag behind me and hit the deadbolt. She laughs once and flicks the chain with her nail. You think a lock is your problem right now. Her words land cold and she doesn't blink. Let's fit you something else, I try, jaw tight. Alterations in the morning and it'll work. No, she says, rolling her wrist for leverage. I want this one because it's yours. The hanger digs into my palm until it stings. I pivot and wedge the hook under my forearm. Her shoulder bumps mine and she doesn't step back. Keep pulling and we'll see who falls first. The boyfriend shifts to block the hallway. He stands wide like a cheap bouncer on payday. Move, I say, feet squared and heart pounding. You can't leave until she has it. Nora exhales and clutches her belly for show. Careful, she whispers loud enough for the camera. Any shove and this becomes your fault. Her eyes shine and the threat hangs. I slide my phone onto the console and hit record. The screen faces her, red dot steady and bright. Keep talking, I say, letting the silence stretch. Her mouth twitches, then she smiles again. Another buzz, unknown number, I answer on speaker. Calling to confirm your cancellation for tomorrow. The voice is crisp and cautious but clear. Nora's eyebrows lift and my stomach drops. Who requested it, I ask, eyes never leaving Nora. Email from your address 10 minutes ago. Do not cancel anything, I say, voice clipped. Understood, the caller replies and hangs up. Nora tilts her head like a cat near water. Hard to keep a party without a room. She taps her screen and swipes with purpose. What else do you treasure today? I lunge for her phone and miss by inches. She steps back and raises it out of reach. Assault looks terrible on a bride, she purrs. The boyfriend chuckles and my skin crawls. I fix my grip and yank the bag free. The hook scrapes and the zipper teeth threaten to split. Stop, Nora says, voice finally sharp. Rip it and I call an ambulance. Call them, I say, meeting her stare. Tell them why you're here and what you took. She blinks once and lowers the phone a fraction. The red dot keeps recording like a ticking fuse. From the hallway, a door opens and pauses. Mrs. Patel peers in, eyes jumping between us. Everything okay, she asks, hand on the frame. Nora brightens, then sways like she might drop. Help, she gasps, one hand on her belly. I step forward, hands up and open. Mrs. Patel doesn't move closer, only watches quietly. Do I call someone, she asks, uncertain. Please film, I say, pointing to my screen. Keep both of us in the shot wide. She lifts her phone with a small nod. Nora's face hardens like a door slamming shut. Last offer, Nora says, words slow and deliberate. You give me the dress and I disappear. Or I press send and you lose tomorrow. The boyfriend angles his camera for a better view. I breathe once, deep and steady, then choose. You won't wear this to my wedding. You won't cancel it either, I add, stepping forward. Put the phones down and walk away. Nora flicks her eyes toward the hallway stairs. She moves fast, sharp turn, sudden sprint, no warning. I catch the bag as she lunges for the door. The hanger bends and metal squeals like a snare. We collide and stumble into the jam hard. Mrs. Patel gasps but keeps filming without shaking. The boyfriend curses and reaches between us clumsily. I shove his wrist away and lock on again. Nora drops her phone into her pocket and smirks. Too slow, she whispers, breath hot and bitter. She thumbs a shortcut and I hear a whoosh. Some message just left and I don't know where. My phone explodes with pings like hail on tin. I don't look, I can't look, not yet. Nora sees that and grins with total satisfaction. What breaks first, she asks, eyes bright and cruel. I switch hands and rip the bag free cleanly. Then I backpedal and hold it high above reach. Leave now, I say, voice low but solid. Or stay and answer on camera. The boyfriend hesitates, mouth tight, shoulders tense. Nora studies me like a problem that moved. A beat stretches, then she laughs without humor. See you before sunrise, she says and slips past. They retreat down the stairs without looking back. Mrs. Patel lowers her phone and exhales slowly. Should I send this to you right now? Yes, I say, fingers shaking, heart not done yet. Alerts hammer the screen until my thumb slips. Group chat explodes with shocked faces and pity hearts. A fresh thread shows me flirting with a stranger. My stomach roils and I hit call anyway. Voicemail, then another attempt, then silence again. A banner rolls up with a new screenshot dump. Different dates, same number I do not recognize. Someone wants me cornered before midnight. I open my mailbox and watch a filter jump. A rule reroutes anything from our planner. I kill it and reset recovery options fast. A ping lands anyway and I brace hard. Confirming the request to void tomorrow. I stab the number and force a steady breath. Do nothing without my voice code now. Understood comes back clipped and firm. Another notification hits like a slap. The efficient emails that I confessed cold feet. I call and give a unique phrase on the spot. He agrees to require us both in person. The neighbor's video arrives with a clear angle. Nora reaches for the dress cover and smirks. Her partner blocks the doorway with both arms. I forward the clip to everyone who matters. A message from him finally lands short and tight. Meet me in the lobby in 15 minutes. I grab the case and lock the door twice. My hands shake but the steps feel clean. A car idles behind me for 3 blocks. It mirrors every turn like a bored shadow. I swing into the precinct lot without warning. The car glides past, then disappears at speed. Inside, I file an incident report on the spot. 2 clips, 1 call log, 1 list of spoof attempts. The clerk prints a number and nods once. It feels thin, but it's a line. I text the number to him with no flourish. I'm acting to protect tomorrow, please come. No reply, only 3 dots that die. I keep driving because stillness helps no one. The lobby doors hiss and he stands stiff. He lifts his phone and shows a cropped video. Someone with my face kisses a man outside a bar. I study the jacket and laugh once sharp. I never owned that thing, look closer. He enlarges and blinks at a stitched emblem. His shoulders loosen but not enough for safety. You need to prove the rest, he says. Give me 1 hour and trust the plan. I share the neighbor's clip and the precinct number. He watches all of it without interruption. Move the dress somewhere secure, he says. I book a hotel room under a throwaway name. The clerk asks for identification and glances up. I slide a card and keep my voice neutral. He hands over keys and I keep moving. The dress goes into the room with 2 locks. I place my phone on the dresser and record. If someone enters, I have it on video. Then I freeze as a new tone punches through. A text from an unknown source blares on loop. Pick me up now or I call an ambulance. The address is our mother's house across town. I grab the case and bolt for the elevator. Halfway there, Mom calls with a tight whisper. She's at my door crying and clutching her belly. Do not let her in alone, I tell her. Wait outside and start filming everything. I swing into the street and hit the horn. Another car cuts across and forces me right. The same plates that shadowed me earlier. My heart pounds and I change lanes hard. I call dispatch and give the cross streets fast. Possible harassment, pregnant woman escalating and threatening harm. They acknowledge and log the call with my number. I keep eyes up waiting for the next lunge. My phone rings again with the planner online. Someone tried to pull the deposit through your email. Freeze transfers and require the code phrase. Done, she answers, brisk and precise. I reach the block and see them on the curb. Nora clings to the railing and sobs loud enough to carry. Mom holds her phone up and keeps her distance. Neighbors stare and the scene heats fast. Come inside or the baby is at risk. Nora keeps repeating it with tremors and gasps. Mom glances at me and shakes her head. I walk up slowly and keep my hands visible. Paramedics are on the way, I tell everyone. Nora goes still for a second and measures me. Her partner arrives behind her with a glare. His eyes cut to the camera and then away. Sirens growl down the street and Nora freezes. She wipes her face and straightens her shirt. The tears stop faster than they started. I meet her stare and neither of us blinks. The ambulance doors swing open and two techs jog over. Nora straightens and clutches low like a curtain drop. Her partner waves wildly and points at me. I lift my phone and say the camera is running. Any pain right now, the T. Other tech watches her pulse. She nods too fast and glances at the uniforms arriving. Who pushed you? He gestures toward the sidewalk and Mom. I hold up the clip with her lunging for the door. The first cruiser stops with a short chirp. An officer steps between us and asks for space. One at a time, he says, hand resting near his belt. I give him the report number and the video link. Nora tries a low moan and then points at my chest. She grabbed me in the hall and twisted me. The officer looks at the footage and raises a brow. Where is the twist? He asks and taps replay. Her phone chirps with a new message banner. The preview shows cancellation confirmed for tomorrow. The officer catches it and holds out his palm. Please keep that visible while we talk. I need to delete personal items, she mutters, jaw tight. Not until we review what concerns this call. He nods at her partner who pockets his device slowly. I can feel the line tightening around them. Mom keeps recording from the steps without a word. Remain here, the second officer tells her calmly. The techs finish vitals and exchange a look. No transport indicated, but you can request it. Nora's eyes flicker toward the curb in the idling car. I feel faint and need to lie down now. Then sit, the tech answers and lowers a small stretcher. She hesitates, then shakes her head and stays standing. My phone buzzes with our planner asking for status. I put her on speaker and give the code phrase. Your email attempted to withdraw funds 5 minutes ago. The officer leans closer as the time stamps a line. Can you read the header location aloud? She does, careful and slow to avoid mistakes. The officer scribbles the numbers in his notebook. Her partner shifts his weight and scans the street. A sedan with the same plates crawls by again. I raise my camera and capture them in the time. Unit 3, the first officer calls to his radio. Possible surveillance of the scene by associated driver. Nora licks her lips and grabs for my sleeve. I step back and she re-aims at Mom instead. Give me water or I will collapse right here. Mom keeps the lens steady and says nothing. Here is the offer, I say, pulse steady now. You walk away and remove my accounts from your devices. Do it while they watch and we leave this block. Her jaw works and then stills as the ambulance hums. The officer turns to me for clarity. Is there stolen property involved tonight? Digital access and attempted cancellations, I answer. He nods and asks her to unlock settings immediately. She opens the phone with a reluctant tap. Screen record this, the officer tells his partner. We watch her scroll to linked accounts and forwarding rules. 2 entries sit there with my name spelled wrong. Delete both and revoke tokens, I say, voice flat. She hesitates while everyone watches her thumbs. The tech coughs and the camera light stays solid. Nora removes them one by one and swallows hard. The officer asks for the fake chat source. She opens a message app with a side folder. Inside sits a project labeled with my initials. He photographs the screen while I keep breathing. A horn blares down the block and the sedan stops. The driver leans out like he expects distraction. The second officer steps into the lane with a hand up. Stay right there, he calls, and the street goes still. Daniel pulls in behind the cruiser and gets out slowly. He keeps distance, but his eyes move to my phone. Do you have the originals? He asks without greeting. I nod and share the neighbor clip first. He watches and then studies Nora's screen capture folder. His shoulders drop a notch, but his face stays hard. I will need every file sent from your device. The officer picks up that thread and requests an export. Nora's partner mutters that this is harassment. The closer officer points to the badge cam. You recorded her too, he says with no heat. Everything here is evidence until we finish. She starts an export and the progress bar crawls. I feel the clock pushing toward midnight like a weight. We present all of this before morning, I tell Daniel. He nods once and keeps his eyes on the bar. The file hits complete and the officer checks the list. Anything else shared to cloud, he asks, pen ready. Nora shakes her head and looks at the ground. Daniel watches her partner instead and waits. Dispatch replies that the sedan is registered to him. The officer asks for insurance and a license. The driver fumbles and drops a folded ticket. The date matches one of my spoof attempts. The officer pockets the slip and reads the number to dispatch. That connects several events, he says, not looking up. Nora presses her lips together until they turn white. Mom records every second without lowering her phone. Here are your options, the officer says, hands steady. You can leave now under a harassment warning. Or we can continue at the station with statements. Nora glances at the ambulance and then at me. Fine, she whispers, barely moving her mouth. Return the dress and I will stop this. My grip tightens on the case handle as I breathe. You don't control my ceremony, I answer slowly. She shifts tactics in an instant and raises her chin. Then you will wake up to a different disaster. Her partner opens the car door and holds it wide. The engine revs and the night waits for their next move. I step toward the open car door and block it. Nora lifts her chin and doesn't flinch. The engine growls and her partner tightens his grip. Choose, she whispers, and the street holds its breath. Station, I say, pointing to the cruiser behind us. The officer nods once and waves them forward. Herb P. Artner curses under his breath and slams the roof. Nora slides into the back seat without looking at me. We ride in separate cars to keep distance. I text the venue manager while the siren blips. Require voice code from both of us tonight. She replies with a single word that steadies me. At intake, they separate us and start questions. I hand over the neighbor's clip and the export list. They copy the timestamps and flag the spoofed attempts. Do not discuss this in the lobby, one warns. Nora asks for water and a charger immediately. Her partner paces 3 steps and checks the clock. I watch them through the glass and keep my face neutral. Daniel stands at my shoulder and does not speak. The investigator brings printed headers and a pen. Calls to cancel came from the same hotspot. He circles a device name that repeats across logs. Daniel exhales, then locks his jaw again. Here is the plan, I say, keeping my voice low. We move the dress to a safer floor right now. We set a decoy at my old place for her. Daniel nods once, eyes on the forms. The investigator reads the harassment warning out loud. Nora signs with a sharp flick and folds her arms. Her partner signs slower and keeps glancing at the door. Tonight you avoid all contact or face charges, he says. We step into the hallway and regroup fast. Daniel unlocks his phone and opens the fake clip. We need a source file or we alert everyone early. I text Mark and ask for bar camera footage. Dispatch confirms a unit can collect the drive. I send the case number and address within seconds. Daniel squeezes my hand once, not for comfort, for pace. We move because hesitation helps them. The door opens and Nora walks out with a smile. She brushes past me like the hallway belongs to her. Sleep lightly, she murmurs, not even glancing back. Her partner follows and keeps his head down. We drive to my old apartment to stage the bait. I hang an empty cover on the inside hook. A simple note waits on the table for any intruder. It reads one word that will sting. Upstairs, I place a tracker under the shell bag. Then I angle a camera toward the only exit. My hand stops shaking as the red light steadies. Something in me clicks into place. Daniel calls the venue and asks for a walkthrough. We reach the service entrance and meet the manager. She checks our codes and leads us through locked corridors. Your ceremony holds unless you cancel in person. We said a second phrase with her and the officiant. 2 words he will only hear from both of us. No email, no text, no assistant in the middle. The manager writes it down and nods once. My phone vibrates with a new unknown link. A public post shows my face with a confession. Comments pile up like wet cement and try to set. I hit report and shove the phone back to silent. Daniel spreads his hands and waits for my call. We don't chase every rumor, I tell him. We secure the ground we actually stand on. He breathes once and resets like a runner. We return to the hotel to check the locked door. The case rests where I left it, untouched and centered. I shoot a quick video and pan across the room. Then I slide a chair under the knob and pause. A soft knock lands twice and stops. Housekeeping, a voice attempts, too late at night. Daniel points to the peephole and shakes his head. Come back after 7, I answer, and silence answers back. My phone pings with the bait camera alert. A shadow crosses the frame and lifts the decoy. They are in the apartment and moving fast. The tracker wakes and draws a slow, glowing path. We watch the dot drift toward the river exit. Daniel grabs his keys and aims for the stairwell. Not you, I say, pulling him back by the sleeve. We let the patrol car greet them instead. I call the investigator and give the route. He dispatches a unit and keeps me on the line. Stay put until we confirm a stop, he orders. I pace the hallway and count my breaths. The dot halts at a parking garage 2 blocks over. Then it dips underground and stalls near a corner. The unit arrives and the signal shivers once. A new alert pops up with a police case number. Recover the decoy, the investigator reports, voice clipped. 2 individuals detained for questioning right now. Neither carried your account credentials on them. My stomach tightens at those last 6 words. Daniel leans against the wall and meets my eyes. She will try again before dawn, he says. Then we lock the last door she can reach. I nod because we both know which door. We drive to our mother's place with a spare unit. Mom unlocks the side gate and squeezes my shoulder. Her room is closed and boxed up, she whispers. I thank her and make for the hallway. Inside, I find a tablet still signed into everything. A draft email waits with venue details and code words. Someone planned a last sweep while pretending to beg. I take photos and kill every remembered logie. Then, Mom watches from the doorway with guarded eyes. Will tomorrow still happen, she asks under her breath. It happens even if we stand in the street. She nods and wipes her face with the back of her hand. The unit outside radios that the sedan returned once. It crawled past, then vanished toward the river ramp. Expect them to try the hotel next, the officer warns. He offers an escort and we accept without pride. Back at the hotel, the hallway smells like stress and metal. A figure waits near the elevator with hands in pockets. He looks up, sees the uniforms, and pivots for the stairs. The officer follows calmly while I unlock our door. I set the case on the bed and flip the latches. The fabric gleams like a dare that cannot be taken. Tomorrow, I whisper and snap the latches shut again. Then my phone rings with a number I do not recognize. I answer and hold my breath for 1 second. A clipped voice identifies as the night manager. Someone downstairs claims to be your sister's doctor. He requests your presence for a medical emergency now. Put him on the house line now. I cover the receiver and look at security. Verify the hospital, ask for switchboard, no transfer. The guard nods once and reaches for his console. Doctor, your full name and license number. Silence hums through the wire like a challenge. He's seizing, the voice blurts, too fast to breathe. Bring the dress or she loses the baby. Patch this to the officer with me. I hand the handset to the escort at my door. He raises an eyebrow and starts recording audio. Sir, identify yourself or this call ends now. The line clicks and dies without a goodbye. The night manager meets us at the elevator. A man with a badge is waiting downstairs. Keep him in sight and stall, I answer. We step into the lobby and spot a white coat. He holds a clipboard and stands near the exit. I motion to the officer and we approach together. Privileges Hospital, I ask and extend my palm. He flashes a card and tries to pocket it. The officer intercepts and flips it over. The laminate peels at the edge like a sticker. "Wait right here," the officer says, voice tight. The doors hiss again and a wheelchair rolls in. Nora sits slumped and clutching her side. Her partner pushes hard and scans the desk. "Move," he barks, angling the chair toward the hall. "Transport is en route," I tell the manager. "Keep them here until paramedics arrive." Nora lifts her head and locks onto the case. Her eyes narrow like a target just cleared. Hand over the gown and I go peacefully. She reaches out, trembling but steady enough to aim. "If I stand, I fall, and that will be on you." The lobby watches for my next move. An alarm pings upstairs on the officer's radio. "Attempted entry on your floor," a voice reports. "Master key was tried and then a shove." I taste metal and glance at Daniel. "I go," he says, already moving to the stairs. The officer points at a second guard to follow. "Secure the room and bring the garment down. Use the service lift and update constantly." Nora breathes in short bursts and clutches lower. "Every second hurts," she whispers, neck stiff. Her partner angles the chair between me and the desk. He stares at the safe behind the counter like a map. The fake doctor shifts toward the fire pool. He lifts his hand an inch, then two. The officer steps into his space and blocks him. "You touch that, we leave in cuffs." My phone buzzes with footage from the bar. A clear angle shows a woman with my haircut. Different gait, different jacket, same cheap smear. I forward it to Daniel without a word. Nora sees the screen and tightens her jaw. "That won't save you from tomorrow's headlines." She traces the wheelchair arm with one finger. "You could fix this by sharing your dress." The service lift opens and the guard steps out. He carries the case and keeps his eyes up. "Door was wedged but intact," he reports softly. "Someone ran when we announced ourselves." Nora jerks upright and the chair squeals under her. She lunges a palm toward the handle like a strike. The officer's arm flashes between us and stops her. The lobby inhales and holds it. The fake doctor bolts for the restroom without warning. The guard follows and jams the door with his foot. "Hands where I can see them," he orders sharply. Something clatters against tile and spins out. Sirens swell outside and two medics rush in. They confirm identity and kneel by the wheelchair. "Rate, rhythm, and pain level right now." Nora squeezes her eyes and counts too fast. "Transport or refused care." They wait, steady and professional and patient. She peeks at the case and shakes her head. "Not leaving without family," she says, pressing her belly. "Family is here," I answer, voice even. "Assess her and document everything in detail." One medic nods and writes while the other measures. Nora winces harder and watches the pen. The restroom door opens with a hard yank. The coatless man emerges with wet sleeves. The guard lifts a small device with a cable. It dangles like a planned trick gone wrong. "Card skimmer," the officer breathes, eyes hard. He turns the man toward the wall and cuffs him. The lobby murmurs as phones rise to catch it. Nora stares past everyone and fixes on me. I roll the case behind the desk toward the safe. The manager keys a code and opens the drawer. "Put it here and close it twice," I instruct. We do it together because trust needs witnesses. Daniel returns with the second guard at his shoulder. "Hallway clear," he reports, breath even now. "Tracker pinged at the garage again 2 minutes ago." The officer radios the update and requests a sweep. Nora stiffens as they speak in clipped bursts. She glances at her partner and tilts her chin. He grips the chair handles and eases backward. I step left and cut off the path. "Not leaving with that," I say, palms open. "Answer the medics or ride downtown." Her lips pull inward and she surrenders one slow nod. "Vitals again," the medic says and resets the cuff. My screen lights with a mass text alert. A fake cancellation just hit our guest list. I watch numbers flood the thread with confusion. Daniel's jaw tightens as he types lightning quick. "Send the code phrase to the official chat." We broadcast the rule we set hours ago. Guests stop replying and wait for our voices. Nora watches the shift and bites the inside of her cheek. The coatless man starts muttering about mistakes. The officer reads him his rights with calm weight. He keeps talking until the words sound empty. His partner says nothing and stares at the floor. A new sound cuts through the lobby like a blade. The fire alarm screams and the lights stutter once. Someone pulled a different switch near the stairwell. The crowd erupts toward the doors and escalator. Stay with the safe, I tell the manager fast. Daniel throws me a look and points to the exit. We shepherd the line to the street together. The officer grabs his radio and calls for a sweep. Smoke does not appear, heat does not rise. This is cover, not danger, and we all know it. I push the tide forward and keep my eyes sharp. Nora's chair pivots in the current like a raft. Her partner tries to cut left toward the service hall. I pivot with him and block the turn without touching. He bares his teeth and jerks the handles hard. The medic's hand drops to the brake and locks it. Fire department will clear in minutes, the manager shouts. People come by inches and keep moving out. The coatless man yanks at his cuffs and fails. The officer ignores him and watches Nora instead. We pour onto the sidewalk and form a ragged line. I hold my phone high and keep recording. Daniel slips to the curb and scans the road. A sedan crawls past for the third time tonight. The second unit noses in front and blocks the lane. An officer steps out and taps the hood twice. License, he orders, and the window slides down. I catch the driver's face and feel the click. It's the same guy from the hallway earlier. He clocks the cameras and starts blinking too fast. Out of the vehicle, the officer instructs, already ready. The door opens slowly like a delayed decision. Back at the line, Nora starts to wail again. Contractions every 2 minutes, she cries, shaking hard. The medic checks and frowns at the readout. Your timing numbers don't match your breathing. She glares and tries to stand as if to prove. Her partner grips her shoulders and pushes her down. He looks at me with a plea that isn't real. We just need privacy, he insists, eyes sliding away. Privacy follows honesty, I answer, keeping my distance. Tell them what you planned at the garage. His jaw twitches and the officer turns his head. The driver on the curb hears and flinches. Fire crews surge through the doors for a sweep. 5 minutes stretch while the lobby gets cleared. One firefighter returns with a melted plastic ring. Alarm pulled manually, nothing burning, he reports. We funnel back inside in strained silence. The manager relocks the safe and writes the time. I sign the sheet with a steady hand. Nora watches the pen as if it holds a switch. My phone buzzes with the investigator's message. Bar files confirm the double is not you. He attaches stills with markers on frames. Daniel exhales once and meets my eyes. Release that now, but keep the watermark. He nods and pushes it to the guest thread. Replies shift from confusion to controlled anger. Our people start to hold the line for us. Nora's partner tries one last angle and speaks low. Let her borrow it for photos only, he says. No one needs to know, and this ends. The officer leans in and lets silence answer. The medics close their kit and stand up. Patient declines transport, vitals stable for now. They document the refusal and get signatures. Nora refuses the pen, then signs with a tiny shake. The officer turns toward her with that firm posture. You were warned about contact tonight. You will keep distance or spend the morning downtown. Her mouth opens, then shuts when she sees his eyes. I retrieve my phone and set fresh locks. New codes, new biometric, new passphrase. No more holes left to pry open easily. My throat tightens, then clears on its own. The manager brings a spare key envelope. Moving you to a different floor right now. We nod and follow the guard toward the lift. Nora watches us slide away and doesn't blink. Halfway up, the speaker crackles with a rough voice. Power cut in the garage, doors failing to close. The elevator shudders and stops between floors. Daniel looks at me and reaches for the alarm. I press the button and hold until it answers. Stay still, the operator says, calm but urgent. Emergency crew dispatched to your position. The car hums, then goes quiet as a grave. From below, metal screeches like teeth on stone. A thud echoes through the shaft like a thrown chain. Daniel braces his feet and stares at the seam. I grip the case handle through the safe memory. He whispers without looking away from the doors. She's not done, not until daylight. I nod once and listen for movement above us. Something scrapes closer in the dark. Metal rasps above the cab like a file on bone. Daniel braces his shoulder against the doors and listens. I press the call button until my thumb aches. Something shifts in the shaft and then goes still. "Voices up there," he whispers, head tilted to the seam. I kill my breathing and catch a faint scrape. Not maintenance, too hurried and careless. I step back and ready my phone to record. The speaker crackles with the operator again. Crew is 2 minutes out, remain stationary. A faint thud hits the roof and dust flutters down. Daniel locks his grip on the railing and waits. A slim light blades through the top hatch. Gloved fingers probe for leverage and test the lid. I lift my phone where the camera can see them. "Identify yourself now or I start a countdown." No answer, only a grind of metal and a grunt. Daniel slams the hatch with his palm once. Maintenance states they are not on our car. The light jerks, then pulls away into darkness. Footsteps climb the ladder with panicked rhythm. The elevator jostles as weight moves higher. Far below, radios bark orders and boots echo. Someone bolts across concrete and a door bangs. "Open up," a muffled voice shouts from the landing. Fire service override engaged, remain back. The car shivers as the manual crank catches. I clutch the rail and count 3 slow breaths. We descend a foot, then steady with a clunk. Daniel meets my eyes and nods once. The outer doors wrench and a pry bar bites. A triangle of hallway appears like a lifeline. A firefighter crouches and wedges a brace. "One at a time will pull you through." Daniel boosts me up and I slide to the gap. Hands grab my forearms and lift me clean. He follows with a grunt and a hard exhale. We stumble onto the landing as alarms chirp. The firefighter points down the stairs with urgency. Security reports movement on the service level now. We hit the stairs 2 at a time without talking. A guard meets us at the 3rd floor switchback. Key cabinet was tampered with during the outage. He's breathing hard, but his eyes are clear. We rush with him to a locked gray door. He swipes twice and it clicks after the second try. Inside, pegs hang empty in a neat pattern. A single outline matches the safe key shape. "Who came through in the last 10 minutes?" He checks the sign-in tablet and curses under breath. 2 entries show staff names that don't exist. Stolen badges copied or borrowed for the night. My phone vibrates with a text from T. "He manager. Lobby secure, safe untouched, staying put." I type one word back and pocket it fast. "Keeps." Then I turn to the map on the wall. Service ramp connects to the loading bay here. Daniel studies lines and points to a blind corner. They funnel there to meet the car from the garage. We move because any pause invites a new trick. A door slams below and a sneaker squeals on tile. We sprint through the corridor toward the cold dock. A figure yanks a metal cart into the lane and stalls. Nora's partner looks up and freezes when he sees uniforms. He pivots to run, but 2 officers block his lane. He drops the key ring and throws up both hands. A 3rd man behind him holds a crowbar stupidly. He gulps air and lets it fall with a clatter. "Where is she?" I ask, voice steady but cold. He flicks his chin toward the ramp and swallows. "She went for a different door when you jammed the lift." His eyes dart like trapped prey hunting a hole. Daniel signals the guard to secure the keys. We push up the incline toward the stairwell exit. An alarm pulses once as someone forces the latch. The door opens to a short hall leading to housekeeping. Nora steps out wearing a staff smock and a practiced limp. Her gaze locks on me, then slides to Daniel. She clocked we escaped and recalculates in a blink. Her hand disappears into a deep pocket and clenches. "Stop," an officer calls, boots pounding behind us. She yanks her hand out and holds up a phone. "I'll broadcast everything right now," she declares, chin high. 10,000 people will watch you ruin a mother." "Do it," I answer, inching forward with calm. Stream the bar footage with my double side by side. Her focus falters for a beat as the words land. The opportunity opens and I take half a step. She recovers and jabs the screen like a detonator. Nothing goes live because her service is blocked. The officer grins without humor as the jammer hums. Nora's lips peel back and fury cracks the mask. You could have shared your day and spared this. Her voice shakes but the eyes stay sharp. Everything you love can be borrowed if I want it. She takes one tight step toward the service elevator. Daniel shifts left without speaking and cuts her angle. I move right and narrow the corridor with my body. The officer closes the triangle and lets silence press. Her shoulders lift, then sag a fraction as she calculates. Take the warning I offered, I tell her, controlled. Leave tonight, walk away from my ceremony entirely. Every account is locked, every file is backed up. Your tricks already have a case number. She laughs once and stares at the floor. The sound curdles in her throat like regret. Then she lunges not for me but for the fire door. Her elbow hammers the crash bar and she bolts. We give chase through a maze of service corridors. She cuts left then right, always toward the stairs. Boots thud behind us and radios spit coordinates. She is quick even with that belly and I push harder. She hits a locked door and flails at the handle. An officer reaches her first and locks her wrists. She thrashes once and then goes completely still. Her expression empties as if nothing touched her. Transport or booking, the officer asks the medic. The medic steps from the stairwell with measured pace. He scans her, checks pulse, checks rhythm, checks eyes. Cleared for custody, he confirms and taps his tablet. Nora lifts her head and finds me past the uniforms. This ends with you begging me someday. She whispers it like scripture she plans to follow. I do not reply because I will not feed it. They lead her down while her partner yells nonsense. The keys jingle in a bag like stolen bones. Daniel stands at my shoulder and finally breathes. My phone buzzes again and I glance down. The bar owner sent one more clip with audio. A voice off camera calls the double by name. Not mine, not close, something that ends the lie cleanly. I forward it to the investigator with a single line. We regroup with the manager in the lobby. She opens the book and logs every time stamp. Safe remains sealed, she reports, signing with crisp strokes. She meets my eyes and nods once for courage. Daniel checks the time and mouths a number. 4 hours until dawn and the plan still stands. I roll my shoulders and feel the weight fall off. The officer pockets the report and tilts his head. Do you require an escort to the venue later? Yes, I answer, no hesitation, no pride. He writes it down and radios the request. Outside, a quiet settles that feels earned. I phone our efficient and put him on speaker. Our phrase, he prompts, ready for certainty. We speak it together like a lock clicking shut. He agrees to meet us early to avoid surprises. We ride the elevator under watch back to our floor. The door opens smooth as if nothing happened. I take the case from the safe and set it down. Daniel places a hand on it, then on my shoe. Elder. 3 taps come at the door with a steady rhythm. Security announces a final sweep of the corridor. He walks through, checks the peephole, checks the latch. Clear, he says, then waits outside with folded arms. I sit on the edge of the bed and inhale slowly. Tomorrow is a cliff and I'm already running. Daniel kneels and ties his shoe like a fighter. We look at each other and no words are needed. My screen lights one last time with a message. The investigator writes that charges were approved. Fraud, harassment, identity misrepresentation. Court will handle the rest, but not before sunrise. I stand and lift the case onto the table. The hinges open easy and the fabric rests quiet. No speeches, no tears, just a decision held steady. Then my phone rings with the manager's number again.